Hi, Dr. Noah Edwilson here with ChiroHub.com doing another chiropractic product review for you. I'm very excited about today's product because I think it's a really quality product, and it's also something that we as chiropractors get asked about quite a bit. It's mattress and pillows. So we've all been asked this. Our patients come in, what kind of a pillow do you recommend, doctor? What kind of a mattress do you recommend? And I never realized that the industry was so complicated. Going through school, we don't get a lot of training specifically on mattresses per se, but there are a lot of options out there for people. And the product review I'm doing today is one of the few products we've done that actually has been approved for the official ChiroHub seal of approval, meaning that we think it's just an amazing product. It's something that I now use personally in my home and that I recommend to patients. So I'm going to give you the basics here, but this is going to be featuring the Natural Latex mattresses that are from Rocky Mountain Mattress, and a company that after doing research I would highly recommend. Great customer service, a very educational company, and provides an awesome product for you and for your patients. So the quick basics on mattresses: we obviously have several different options available. There is the memory foam, which you have here. There is latex, which I'll explain a little bit more about later, and we'll talk about some of the subtle differences between these two. Both great products. Rocky Mountain Mattress actually has both of these available. I personally prefer the latex, and I'll talk today about why, but some people may prefer the memory foam over that. And then you also have other options out there, which are the traditional spring mattress, which I'm sure we've all experienced and has its obvious disadvantages, and I'll go into that in more detail as well. Then there is the gel mattresses. This is kind of a new fad on the market. And then air mattresses, and no, I'm not talking about the kind that you take up camping and blow up, but more of your the number beds where you can set a specific hardness or firmness in the air bladder itself within the mattress. So anyway, a lot of options out there, and you should, as chiropractors, be educated about this as patients come and ask you about that. Especially useful for patients who have recently had rotator cuff repair or are in a very acute pain, such as a disc herniation or something like that. They need a supportive mattress. They need something that's going to be comfortable for them. So with these foam mattresses, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, they typically have a base layer which provides, or a middle layer, but some kind of a firm inner core or base layer that provides the real structural support. So that's what you see here. If you were to sleep on something like this, it would be very hard. If you're a side sleeper, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the shoulders. It's just too firm. This is the type of foam you might get if you were going to a foam store or buying some kind of an upholstery foam. Not very conforming to your body, and feels very foreign, but plays an important role because it's going to be very supportive to the heavier areas of your body, for example your hips, and that's where we get a lot of that pressure coming on your mattress. And so on top of that, for comfort, you can either choose to get the memory foam, which you can see how well that absorbs the weight and distributes things evenly, and then you have your latex as an option as well. The difference between these two, you'll notice the latex has a little bit more spring to it, so it bounces back, a little more resilient feeling, whereas the memory foam is very conforming, and has more give to it and is slower on the recoil. Both very comfortable though, especially when they're put on a firm base like that to provide the support for the heavier parts. And this is what it looks like when you combine them. So you can clearly see the distinction between the firm layer and then the soft upper part. With the latex, they will have holes like that in it that they had used to go in here and evenly heat the natural latex so that it didn't cause any kind of problems or bubbles or burnt areas or anything like that. So you get a very uniform filling foam. So the reason why I have chose this mattress even for a personal bed is because of this ability to be responsive to the different pressures that your body gives off. And I'm going to ask you to bear with me here for a minute. We're going to transition to some pictures and some slides that I'm going to show you on why I think natural latex foam is a superior product out there currently for mattress products. Okay, so let's discuss some of the major advantages of these natural latex mattresses over some of your other options like a spring mattress or a gel. Now, first of all, I'm talking here about 100% natural latex mattress, which is one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of Rocky Mountain Mattress. They use US made material that you can trust, and it's 100% natural pure. It means no petro is used in the manufacturing of it, and it's actually biodegradable. So for those of us that are into the green movement, this is a pretty important aspect. The next thing is there's decreased motion transfer. What this basically boils down to is as you're rolling around on that mattress, your partner's not going to be rolling around with you. And for heavier patients, when they're laying down on the bed, they're not going to create that sag that pulls their partner towards them. I've also noticed this contributes to less noise in rolling around, whether it's from the bedding or from the clothing. Another major advantage, especially over a similar mattress as the memory foam, is that latex tends to last a little longer. 10 to 20 years is a very typical lifetime for these latex mattresses, whereas a cheaper memory foam would last as little as 3 to 5 years before it really starts to show some wear and break down. One of the other things I like about these is they're temperature neutral. That means more sleep for your patients because they're not waking up hot. We all know that people tend to sleep a little better when it's a few degrees cooler in their room. That means they're going to sweat less and have a better night's sleep. Now, usually this next point you don't see in the same sentence with latex, but these are in fact hypoallergenic. That's because all the contaminants have been removed, they're 100% pure and clean, and because of this next point being antimicrobial. It means bacteria, dust mites, and things of that nature don't survive very well on these types of mattresses, making them a good option for people with allergies or other atopic disorders. Now, as chiropractors, of course, we're pretty concerned about spinal alignment and what that's going to do according to the mattress that our patient is on. And with a good latex mattress, they're going to have not only the good firm support to hold up the heavier areas of the spine and not allow them to sag, but they're also going to have that conforming effect to provide the comfort at the same time. So we get good spinal alignment, especially through those transition areas like the cervical, thoracic, and lumbosacral regions. And last but not least is the great pressure reduction provided by latex. And this is one of the, I think, most important advantages that it has over some of your other mattress types, because the pressure coming upward onto the person's sore area, whether it's their shoulders or their hips or their knees or ankles, is going to be much less with a latex mattress. And you'll notice this immediately upon lying on one of these. So you're probably wondering, well, why wouldn't I get one? They're wonderful and there's got to be something wrong with them. The two major cons of a latex mattress is, number one, they tend to be more expensive than other mattresses, including the memory foam. And number two, which this is not usually an issue once you have it on your bed, but for moving it and different things might be an issue, is that they're pretty heavy. So if you have to go move it, that might be something you consider. Both of these, in my mind, are pretty minimal issues, but certainly something that you should take into consideration. Okay, there you have it. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this chiropractic product review. And once again, this is the all-natural latex mattress produced by the guys at Rocky Mountain Mattress. You can find out more about this and purchase your own mattress or recommend patients to it at rockymountainmattress.com. And you can even approach them about affiliate programs or other things if you're interested in recommending these products to your patients. This is, like I said, one of the very few products that I've done a review on where we're given an official ChiroHub.com seal of approval. So I just think it's an outstanding job, great customer service, very informative website, and staying right up on the latest in technology and providing a quality product that can really make a big difference in your patients' lives. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.